this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So we're here for another one of our mass making sessions, and we are here today for week number 209, would you believe? So for those people who don't watch my channel, we are doing reruns. So we did the first 100 weeks, we then did another 100, and now we're doing a third round of the reruns. So what are we making this week? We are making slanty fold out pockets. So if you are wanting to craft along, what will you need? You will need a selection of papers. Now, when I say a selection of papers, today I've brought along papers of varying thicknesses. So I have brought along some 120 GSM. So normal copy paper is roughly 70 to 80 GSM. This is 120. So it's, you know, it's quite a bit thicker than obviously regular copy paper. I personally would not use this type of paper really for these pockets without reinforcing it. So when I'm going to be using this paper, I will glue it together with another sheet of paper. So I have tried to prep ahead this week, and I have matched up my papers so that I can do this. Okay, so that's one paper type. I've also brought along some book page. Now this is large book page. So it's a vintage book, but it's a large sheet of paper there. And that's going to be used to, you know, back another pocket or another sheet of paper. So that's the 120 GSM and then the vintage book page. And then I've also brought along some thicker papers, which these are all 230 GSM paper. Okay, now I have double-sided these because you're going to see the inside of the paper. So, you know, not absolutely essential, but obviously if you don't want to just see white on the inside, then you're going to either need to double side it, or you could, you know, coffee dye the inside, something like that. So that's your paper types. You're going to need some glue. I have just brought along my Anita's tacky glue. This is my go-to glue for paper items. So we are just predominantly going to be gluing just paper at the moment. So that's the glue I'll be using. I've brought along an old card here. This is just for spreading my glue out. So any kind of, you know, card that you've got. I've brought along my scissors. Again, I do not use a paper trimmer because I find that very cumbersome. But if you prefer to have a paper trimmer, then by all means bring your paper trimmer along. But I will be using my scissors. You may want to have a bone folder. I will probably just use my scissor handles, but, you know, bone folder or scissor handles is absolutely fine. You then might want to have things like some distress ink and a blendy tool, you know, to distress around your pockets. And you may want to have a corner rounder just for different looks and things like that. I also like to have a dried baby wipe to have on hand just for mopping up excess glue. So you might like something like that. And then the only other thing that you might like is maybe some coffee dyed paper, or, you know, some food colour paper. You could use fly sheet from books or something to be able to make little panels inside your fold out, or to make extra pages and things. And you'll see that as we get making them. So how do we make these? Okay, let's have a quick look. So I'm going to make the first one from a double-sided thick paper. Okay, so this is going to be very, very straightforward. Now you can see my printer's yanked this through a little bit peculiarly, so I'm going to have to trim this down slightly. So I'm just going to trim along the top where my printer's, you know, sucked it through. I'm not going to worry too much if it's not straight. We can always kind of trim it up afterwards, so that's all fine. And then all you're going to do is you're going to fold your paper into thirds. Now, again, I'm not going to get too stressed about how, you know, how neat and tidy this is, to be honest. So just kind of squish it down approximately into thirds, and then you can always come back and kind of tidy it up afterwards. So like that, and then just, we can then move our folded pieces slightly over. So that one here, for example, we might want to just move it over slightly. Now, I do not measure, I just kind of judge by eye, so my pockets probably will need a bit of trimming down. If you prefer to use your paper trimmer and your scoreboard and, you know, measure your items, you might not have to do the trimming. I personally don't get on with a paper trimmer, so I would prefer to trim my items down, you know, than use a paper trimmer. But that's just my personal preference, because I, you know, like I say, I don't get along with measuring, I don't get along with paper trimmers and all of that kind of stuff. But if you would prefer to do that, then that's another, you know, another alternative that you could use. So then what we're going to do, we're just going to take our fronts, so this section here, and we're just going to fold down this portion. Okay, so at this point, squish that in with either your bone folder or your scissor handles like that, and that's going to form your pocket. So you can see, obviously, this one I have used double-sided but the same paper on both sides, so we haven't really got a contrasting area. I quite like that look. I think that looks quite nice, to be honest. It's quite classy, actually. But I've got, you know, all different you know, patterns and things, so we're going to get lots of different looks, hopefully. So just squish that down, and again, obviously take your dried wipe to remove any excess glue. Now the other thing is, obviously, these pockets, they are brilliant for using your sewing machine. Now I've tried to you know, adapt the mass making really so that we don't really use the sewing machine. And that's twofold. A, it would be pretty boring for you guys to be watching me just at the sewing machine for a whole hour. And B, I know that lots of you don't like using your sewing machine for paper. Maybe you've not got a sewing machine. So by not using the sewing machine, then hopefully we're keeping these sessions really nice and accessible for the majority of people. So that's it, okay? And then you're going to glue your front pocket down to here. So straight across, run a bead of glue down the bottom and the side like that, and then we just squish that in like that. Okay, and that's all there is to these. So then what you've got is, you've got obviously your lovely pocket here, and then what you've got also is this opening section here. So then it would be up to you, and this is why I said, you know, you might like to bring some fly sheet or some coffee dyed paper or what have you, because it's up to you then whether you want to line these pieces. So I'm just going to fold it in so as I can see better kind of, you know, how big these need to be. So if I take this down like that, and then I'm just using this as my kind of guide for how big I want my little pieces to be, so like that. Okay, like that, and we'll just cut that down here like that. Okay, like I say, I mean, you could use fly sheet or something for this. You could use you know, old envelope or something to make your little inner pieces, anything you like, so long as it's, you know, a plainish paper. Okay, so again, just cut this off. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my folded edge here as a guide for cutting my paper to separate it so as I get two pieces. And then again, you could then, you know, round your corners. You don't have to, but it sort of finishes them off quite nicely. So round your corners there like that. Okay, so then when you open your pocket back up, you've got your two sheets of paper there, so perfect for journaling. So we're just going to glue these in. Like that. Okay, so that one, just take my glue spreader. That's it. Mop out any excess glue like that. And your other sheet here. Again, this is 120 GSM, this coffee dyed paper. You could of course use copy paper. I mean, the only thing that I would say is when you're gluing it down, the copy paper is going to be quite thin, and you know, your glue would kind of be more, not necessarily noticeable, but you know, kind of more oh, what's the word, is it ruche in the paper? I don't know, but you know, you'd have more kind of, yeah, more noticeable. Let's just leave it like that. I'm sure you guys know what I mean. So by using a slightly thicker paper, it just goes down a little bit smoother like that. And that's all there is to that gorgeous pocket. And then obviously if you wanted to kind of add to it, you know, make some different looks to it, you could always, again, round your corners of your actual pocket. Okay, you could just round one. I mean, that looks really nice actually. But of course you could round all of them. This is going to be too thick. Yep, it's not really very happy going through that big bulk. So I'll just trim that up now. Okay. This is my rich damask papers, by the way. I will try and remember to say the paper that I'm using each time. So I've just rounded the top corners. Of course, again, up to you. You could round then the bottom corners, you know, round it all. And then, you know, you just glue this into your journals on 3 sides. So it would be like a side loading pocket here. You'd have your pocket here, and then open it up, you've got your journaling space here. So I mean, it's a really nice pocket, isn't it? I do absolutely love these pockets, I have to say. So yeah, very fun to make. They're very quick, they're very easy, but they give you a lot of journaling space. And then of course, you know, you could ink around it and things, you know, change the look of it more with ink and decoration. So that's that one. Now I'm going to demonstrate now doing one with flimsy paper. So let me just take couple of sheets of flimsy paper. So I've got this paper here. So this is from my new Easter collection papers. Yep, I just put them in my shop last week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just trim along the bottom, and I've backed it, or I'm going to back it. I haven't done that yet. I'm going to back it with my documents collection papers. So again, just go straight across that bottom bit where my printer's misbehaved and not printed borderless. I seem to be having problems lately with my printer, you know, printing borderless. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my 2 sheets of paper together. Okay, now like I say, the reason for this is because I just find them a little bit on the flimsy side otherwise. But again, you know, this is your journal, your project. If you're confident with having you know, thinner pages to make pockets from, you know, a thinner paper to make pockets from, then, you know, bypass this whole process and just make them from, you know, from thinner paper. That's absolutely fine too. It's only because I'm a bit heavy-handed, so I like my pieces quite thick, just, you know, so they're a little bit more robust. So try and level your paper up as best you can, like that. Okay, and then of course use your glue spreader to spread your glue out, hopefully eliminating most of the bubbles, so it's, you know, pretty wrinkle free. And if your paper now moves, you can always trim it up afterwards. So, you know, don't worry too much if your paper's now not really particularly level. You can just trim that up in a minute. So like that. Now my glue's coming out very fast because I've kept it with a you know, paper clip in it, so it's nice and flowing. So I've got a lot of glue there. Obviously, again, you don't probably need that amount of glue, but hey, I'd rather have it, you know, properly glued than not glued well enough. So again, take your piece now, and then you're just going to judge by eye roughly where you want it. So I probably would like to have this pink here in the background. Now, unfortunately, I have just noticed that that also has got a little slither that's not really borderless. But anyway, I'm not going to get myself in a, you know, to an 8 about it. So just going to fold that over like that. And then, oops, oh, I've done this the wrong way around. Oh, well, that wasn't great, was it, to do it the wrong way around on the piece with the doubled up paper? That was a bit of an unfortunate situation, but never mind. So again, just take your glue spreader, and that will kind of, you know, spread the glue. Now unfortunately I have got a bit of a you know, situation there because I by accidentally folded it obviously the wrong way, but you know, they're quite forgiving, so it's not too bad. So go in here like that. Okay, hopefully that's levelish. Yep, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's okay. And then here you're going to go in and fold your pocket. Okay, so I'm just going to take my pocket down. I've still done this wrong, to be honest, because I was expecting that pink to be the colour that showed under here, but yeah, I've obviously misjudged that. That's not worked out, so needn't have worried about that, you know, folding it in the other way where I risked ruining it completely, but never mind. Okay, so we're just going to squish that in. Again, just go over with my dry wipe to get the excess glue out, like that. And then you could always make these shorter, so let's have a short pocket here, so, or a shorter pocket, like that. How gorgeous is that one? So yeah, absolutely love how that one looks. And then again, we're going to then just glue this pocket here. So again, running the glue straight down across the bottom. Oops, and straight up here on the edge. That's it. So like I say, I mean, if you were stitching these, you'd take it to your sewing machine and, you know, you probably wouldn't have glued this triangle down. You could just now stitch across here, and then you'd open your pocket out and you'd stitch around here and here, maybe up there as well, you know, if you wanted it to have stitching on both edges. So super easy. Obviously, like I say, I have kind of mucked this up with this awful folded situation now, which, you know, I'm not happy with how that looks. But again, what you could do, I'm just going to just pop a little bit of glue in there, which will hopefully kind of like hold it down a bit better. But what you could do now, instead of putting on the sheets of paper like we did before, okay, is you could put a couple of pages in here, and that will just help to disguise that, to be honest. So let's just take this page here. I mean, to be honest, this is probably a bit bright for this, but just, you know, for the video purposes, we'll just take this down like that. Okay. Cut that down like that. Okay. Then I'm just going to trim this down here on the edge. Like that. Okay. So then you just tuck that into there. You could either staple this or again take it to your sewing machine. But do you see that now has kind of disguised that crease? I mean, you can obviously, you can still see it, but it's no longer kind of really noticeable. Whereas if you glued your paper down here, that's going to be, you know, right there. But now you've got obviously pages there instead. So I've just quickly now staple that in to show you guys. Oops. And I mean, I've just used one page. Obviously you could use more than one, you know, completely up to you, but play around and sort of see what works best for you. And again, you know, it will depend how thick your pages are. You know, we have used the 120 GSM paper, which I had coffee dyed, so it's all kind of the same thickness, this paper. But again, if I'd used, you know, regular copy paper or maybe some fly sheet or something, they probably would have been thinner papers, which, you know, then you could possibly put more than one page in there. But isn't that such a cute little pocket? So again, just, you know, if you've got any trimming, you could just trim that down like that. Okay. Oops. There we go. They're just such a nice pocket though, aren't they? So, you know, and they've got the quality of obviously, you know, little sort of squishy piece now. Whereas obviously when I made it with the single paper, it doesn't have that squishy quality. So, you know, I like them both, to be honest. I think they're different. You know, I think each one is different, and I like each one sort of this, you know, for different reasons. So we are going to mass make these now. So when I say mass make, for anybody who doesn't kind of watch along normally, what I mean by that really is we're going to just assembly line these. So I'm going to do all the same stages together. So what I'm going to do, I think, is take all my thinner sheets first and glue them together, because I've kind of lined them up, like I said, just to try and save a little bit of time already. So here I've got this book page, just going to go around here and glue this onto the back sheet. Okay. Then we'll do all of our folding, all of our cutting, all of our gluing, you know, so that we're doing the same stages at the same time, which will hopefully be a really efficient way to do this. So, oops, oh dear, now I've had a big squidge of glue come out. So, right, okay, let's just, oh, smoosh that out a bit. Right, okay. So, yeah, pop that down there. Actually, I'm going to try and go at the top. Okay, right. Again, smoosh that glue out. Okay. So yeah, we'll just kind of do all the same stages at the same time, and we should just now relax and have a nice time, have a catch up really. So yeah, I hope everybody's day has started, or their week has started out well. Oops. For anyone who doesn't watch my channel, I generally film these videos on a Monday to go up for you guys on the Tuesday. So my day has literally just started. Sorry, this was my shabby chic collection papers. This is my butterfly collection papers, and this is being backed with my documents collection. So I'm going to, I think, go across. Oh, I'm not going to manage to do this, am I? I wanted to have the blue showing, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Oh, yeah, oh well. Oh well, right. Okay. Yeah, so where was I going with all of that? Yeah, I hope everybody's week has started out well. Mine has only just started. I'm filming this obviously on the Monday, ready for the Tuesday. It was absolutely freezing. I went to the gym first thing this morning. Oh my goodness, it was 2 degrees. It was so cold. Did not feel like motivating myself to go, but yeah, it was fine once I got there. But getting there was like, oh, why am I doing this? Then took my daughter to school, and by that time it had warmed up quite a lot. So yeah, we walked with the dog, and I mean, I've been so lazy lately. When I've taken her, I've been driving, and yeah, it's just been horrendous because the weather has been so wet. We've had this endless rain, which I know that I've talked about a lot. So yeah, every time I've taken her, I have just jumped in the car, which is so lazy because the school is like 5 minutes from our house. I mean, it's probably literally quicker to walk than to drive, but who on earth wants to walk in the rain? So yeah, we've been like really bad and gone in the car. But today the sun was shining, it had warmed up a bit, and yeah, it was lovely. So and it was really lovely, you know, one of those really still days where there's no wind. It was like that, just felt lovely. I'm just going to move my camera slightly because I don't want to be out of frame. Oops. There we go, hopefully that's a bit better. Yeah, so that's the weather. So the weekend, Saturday, was absolutely disgusting. Absolutely chucking it down with rain the whole day. It was vile, absolutely vile. So this one I might do whole page size. So yeah, we've got then different sized pockets going on. So the rest of them I have trimmed down slightly, or that Easter one that I trimmed down considerably. So this one, let's actually do this full height. So this would just be the full height of your, you know, of your journal pages. If like me, you make, you know, using A4 page, or, you know, whatever size that it is where you are. You know, if you're using your same papers that you use for your journals, then by doing it like this, they would obviously then be same height as your your journal pages. So there we go. So this one is the Roses collection papers, and on the other side again backed it onto those documents collection papers. I know I've talked about this before, but the documents collection papers, they are so brilliant for things like this, you know, backing things, because of course they've got this neutral theme. They kind of go with everything. So yeah, that's what I've used for those. Right, let's just take this one. So again, this is the birds collection and this is the documents collection. So again, just going to keep it full size when we're backing these on. So there we go. So what have we been up to? Well, Saturday being so disgusting, we really didn't do very much. Just trying to actually think what we did do. Well, we went to the gym. My middle son, he came with me to the gym. We went for coffee with you know, our gym friends, and then we didn't go out again for the whole rest of the day. It was so horrible. Why would you have wanted to go out? It was honestly just, oh, absolutely horrible. So I did some work. I went, where did I go? No, I didn't do anything. We didn't go out. Did a video with my daughter, so that will be coming up you know, soon. So yep, we had a nice time doing the video. Yeah, that was kind of it really. And then Saturday night we went out, my daughter and I just went out with my friend. So we went out to a restaurant and had a nice time. It was a Thai restaurant, absolutely delicious food, I have to say. Felt so stuffed when we came out of there. I just couldn't move at all. I'm a vegetarian, so I had the vegetable tempura, which was absolutely delicious, I have to say. So this is my documents collection, and this again is more of that Easter collection papers. Again, I'm just going to take it down at the bottom where that borderless bit has you know, just gone off the page. So yeah, I had vegetable tempura to start. My friend had prawn tempura and then shared some vegetable spring rolls with my daughter. So yeah, that's what they had. And then I think my daughter had chicken pad thai. I had vegetable pad thai, and my friend had I think it was beef in oyster sauce, I think, and oh, might have been mixed vegetables with cashew nuts or something like that. Oh my goodness, it was such delicious food. I mean, we've been to this restaurant a few times, only probably a handful of times, you know, 4 or 5 times. We only found it last year. So yeah, it's a little way from our house, about 8 miles from our house, so we have to drive there. And it looks like a really unassuming restaurant, you know. In fact, it looks a bit like a takeaway when you arrive there. And you know, the first time that I went, had very low expectations. I'd found it on TripAdvisor, and you know, it had brilliant reviews. So I thought, well, you know, the reviews say it's fantastic, it's, you know, supposed to be delicious food, but when you get there, it just looks, you know, quite divey, if I'm truthful. So yeah, felt very skeptical. Well, thank goodness stayed to give it a try, because wow, the food is just absolutely lovely. Really delicious. So yeah, I've been there a few times since then, and it's very nice food. So yeah, that's what we did on Saturday. So our only outing was, you know, going out in the evening. And then Sunday, what did we do on Sunday? So went for a Costa with both my sons and my daughter. So my eldest son has got a new girlfriend, so went and met her. So yep, him and his girlfriend, and then my middle son and my daughter. So yep, I don't think really we're at the stage of calling her a girlfriend, so I probably shouldn't really be calling her that, but hey, you know, in our generation, that's what people were, wasn't it? If you've been out a few times, you were then boyfriend and girlfriend. Well, maybe it's just not like that these days, I'm not sure. So anyway, So yeah, met her. She was very nice, very, very lovely girl, pretty girl, you know, yeah, very sweet. So yeah, that was really, really nice. And then it was absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous weather. So my mum and dad took my daughter out because they were also taking my sister Natalie, her son, out. So they took them out for some lunch and a play at the arcades, you know, so they did that. So I went out with a friend of mine just for kind of like a drive and a little bit of a walk, but not much fun, with Bo. And we went to this place where it's kind of a viewpoint. They have like a burger van and things. I didn't have a burger, but my friend did. And then I had an ice cream. So, sorry, that was the butterfly collection and the documents collection. I can't remember whether I said that. And then this here, this is my tea collection papers. And again, I'm going to back it with this vintage book page. So we'll just back it like that. So yeah, anyway, they had an ice cream van. And oh my goodness, my highlight of my whole weekend was they had dog ice cream. So, yep, obviously we'd taken Bo and bought Bo her little first tub of her own dog ice cream. She loves ice cream. I mean, I eat ice cream all the time. I really, really, really am terrible. It's one of my favourite things to eat. So I have ice cream very frequently. And she always kind of licks out my tub, or she licks my lid, you know, that kind of thing. Now mine is vegan ice cream normally. So, well, always. So not that I'm a vegan, but anyway, so I think that's fine. I'm not sure whether dogs are okay with actual dairy ice cream. So I just want to kind of say, you know, I mean, I'm no expert, so I wouldn't really know, but I've heard some people sometimes say that their dogs have an upset tummy after ice cream. And the guy at the ice cream van had said once that apparently the dog ice cream is effectively just a vegan ice cream. Anyway, so they had ice cream for dogs, you know, signposted ice cream for dogs on the burger van. So she had a tub of her own, yep, to herself, a tub of vegan ice cream, or dog ice cream. Right, I'm going to stop there with the soft ones, and I'm going to just pull in some of those thicker papers as well, so that we can just crack on and, you know, actually get some of these made. Otherwise, I'm conscious that we're not probably making very many of these. So, right, let's move those out of the way. So we're going to do our trimming and our folding now. So this one here, I've just got, again, it's not quite gone through borderless, so I'm just going to cut off the edges and tidy up, and then we'll get folding. Okay, there we go. So yeah, she had her own tub of ice cream. It was strawberry flavour. Oh my goodness, she loved it, loved it, loved it. Yep, she absolutely could not have loved it anymore, to be honest. She gobbled it down. Yeah, super, super, super cute. So, yep, she loved it. And I felt so excited. I was like, oh my goodness, she's having her first tub of ice cream. How cute is that? Oh, this hasn't really panned out very well either. It's quite hard to work out what's going to be on the back of these papers, you know, once you've sort of concertinaed them in. I'm not very good at judging them, what paper's going to be on the back of them, and I've miscalculated a few times, but never mind. Anyway, so that was my highlight of my whole weekend, was her having her own tub of ice cream, because it was just so cute to see her gobbling it up, and my goodness, she loved it so, 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 so much. So yeah, touch wood, you know, we've not had any kind of upset tummy situation or anything so far. So yeah, this is my roses collection paper, and it's backed with the French collection papers, by the way, in case you were wondering what papers these were. So again, like that. So doesn't that blue just look absolutely gorgeous, because it just picks up this little bit of blue here. So again, actually I'll do all the gluing afterwards, so let's do all the cutting and folding. So this is my perfume collection papers, and I'm not sure what this is backed onto. Oh, it's backed onto the documents collection. So yeah, anyway, that was my highlight of the whole weekend. you know, even better than the Thai restaurant, which was, you know, pretty lovely, was seeing Bo have her own tub of ice cream. It was like, oh my goodness, could not love you anymore. So yeah, that was very, very cute. I also had an ice cream. It was scrumptious. And that was pretty much my whole day yesterday. Yep. Yep. Oh, last week went to the cinema with my middle son. He's like my cinema buddy. So yeah, we went to the cinema and we watched a film called Iron Claw. Now, I hadn't really seen a trailer for it, but it's been on for a couple of weeks now. So if you have not seen the trailer for it or seen the film, it was based on a true story and it was set in the late 70s. It was about a wrestling family. Now, some of you may have heard of this family. I personally hadn't, but, you know, that means nothing because I've often not heard of, you know, people. So the family was called the Von Erichs, and they were a you know, renowned wrestling family. I can't remember now where it was, what state it was in, but somewhere in the States, obviously. Set in the 70s, and it was such a tragic story because basically the dad was, you know, he really wanted to get his sons into wrestling. And in the film, he had 5 sons. When I actually Googled it when I got home, I think I'm right in saying he actually had 6 sons. But one of them wasn't portrayed in the film. I assume just because he was a younger son and he didn't really kind of get into the wrestling world anyway. Anyway, it was such a tragic story because out of these 5 sons, 3 of them ended up dying. 3 of them? 4 of them. Just trying to think. I think 4 of them ended up dying, which is just absolutely horrendous, isn't it? Can't remember whether I said now that was my perfume collection with the documents collection. Yeah, it was absolutely tragic. This is my French collection papers, so we'll just do one of here, and it's backed with the also French collection papers. So yeah, so it was so tragic. And when I actually Googled it when I came home, actually there were 6 sons, and it said that when the father died in, I think it said 1998, 5 of his 6 sons had died, and 3 of them had died from suicide, which is just absolutely tragic, isn't it? So in the film, the sons that they, you know, that they followed, because like I say, they didn't include the 6th son. I think there was a young child, you know, a son who died, I think like age 6 or something like that, you know, as a young boy. Can't remember what he died from. It may have been a drowning accident. I can't remember, I'm afraid. Then there was another son who died from, he had an intestine injury, I think, as a result of wrestling. And he suddenly died as a result of that. Then there was another son who, oh, I'm trying to think now. Another son who, he had a, not a wrestling injury. He had a, what did he have? He had a motorbike accident and he died from the, no, he didn't die. He lost a leg. He lost a leg in the motorbike accident. Right, I'm going to just now trim up the ones that we've glued together and then fold them down. So he had a motorbike accident. He lost a limb, and then he, unbelievably, you know, he was obviously very, very determined, very hardworking, and he managed to get himself back into the wrestling ring, and became, now I don't know whether he was like in mainstream wrestling or whether he was maybe in like sort of wrestling, you know, for you know, people with kind of like prosthetic limbs and things. I'm not really too sure. But anyway, he got into, I think, the world of wrestling again, you know, just with his, you know, his, like, yeah, prosthetic leg, which is just unbelievable in the first place, isn't it? And eventually, you know, he was obviously struggling with, you know, I think he was in a lot of pain, obviously, from his injury and things. So he ended up killing himself, which was, you know, just tragic. The son, then another son, he also went into wrestling, and he went into wrestling. I think he went into wrestling, and I think he was injured. He had a shoulder injury, and he had some surgery for his shoulder injury, and the surgery then, did the surgery go wrong? I can't remember, the surgery went wrong or something, or anyway, it left a lasting, you know, lasting impact kind of thing. I don't know why I ended up gluing that. I wasn't supposed to be gluing these yet. So he ended up having a shoulder injury, surgery, which seemed to, you know, cause more problems really. So he kind of was never, you know, never recovered fully from the wrestling match really, and the injury that he sustained, and then the surgery. So that was his you know, tragedy. And then eventually he killed himself, and then the final son, it must have been, he went on to actually, you know, he kind of got married and he had children and things, but he was then the only surviving son. It was such a tragic story, and yeah, a bit of a hard watch if I'm truthful, but a very, very good film. It was played by Zac Efron, the, you know, the surviving son. He was played by Zac Efron, and I mean, he's a brilliant actor, isn't he? So yeah, we really enjoyed it. Oh, I've done it again and glued that down again. I said I wasn't gluing them, didn't I? We were doing the assembly line. So yeah, must not keep gluing these bits. Do all of my gluing together. So we are just cutting and folding right now. So yeah, anyway, very, very, very good film. So, right. Not going to trim this down. We're just going to fold this in. So let's decide which way. Yeah, let's have this like this. Okay. Yeah, very good film, but I had not heard of them. Like I say, I mean, I don't know whether, you know, they were, you know, internationally, you know, renowned for their wrestling, but I mean, I'm not obviously a big wrestling fan really, and, you know, to be fair, it took place in like 1977 to, I think it was like 1983 or something, was the time period that the film followed. So, you know, I mean, I was just a small child then, so yeah, obviously didn't remember it or anything like that. But anyway, very, very shocking, and yeah, but really good film. So if you're kind of like, you know, if you've seen a trailer for it and you're thinking, oh, you know, is it going to be good? Yeah, it was really, really good. So I would recommend watching it. Oh, just the final one here. This is my Junk Journal Basics Kit 2. And then I've backed it with my damask papers, which I just thought this would look absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, let's do one in this as well. Oh, I've got to trim this down as well. Yeah, anyway, so that was the film that we watched this week. So yeah, very shocking watch, but really good, really good. So this week we're going to go and watch a film. I think it's called Wicked Little Letters. It might be called Nasty Little Letters. I think it's Wicked Little Letters. Now, again, when I heard of this film, I mean, I just thought, oh, that sounds really lame. What a rubbish film. And I said to my son, you know, oh, did you want to go and watch that? And he was like, no, because it sounded really rubbish. Well, then I saw on the news, I hadn't realised this, it was actually set in a little town not that far from us. And strangely, it was filmed in a town even closer to us. So it was set in a town probably, I don't know, maybe, 15 miles away, something like that. but it was actually filmed in a town that's very, very close to us. And in fact, the film that it was, the town that it was filmed in, several years ago, I did a Spend the Day With Me video, which, you know, it's still there on my channel. And I took you to a lovely bookshop in a local town called Arundel. We did a bit of a sort of hike, you know, up this very steep kind of hill. And then, you know, we sort of looked at a few of the views. And then, yeah, this is going to be my last one. So I'm going to do the gluing now. We looked at the views and then we went to the bookshop, or, you know, maybe the other way around. I can't remember. Anyway, it was filmed in that town. So, and on the trailer, the part that I've seen, you know, I mean, it proper shows a lot of that town. So, yeah, we're going to go and see it for that reason, really, because I think it's really exciting when you've, you know a place, or you've been to a place, you know, where a film is filmed. It's fun watching it, isn't it? And to be fair, now I've watched the trailer, knowing a little bit more about it, it looks quite a funny film. And it's with that lovely Olivia Colman. I mean, she's a brilliant actress. Very, very funny. So, yeah, I imagine it will be a very funny film. Whether it would be funny, you know, if you were not from the UK, I'm not sure, because it might be just really our sort of, you know, sense of humour that possibly maybe, you know, would not seem very funny to people elsewhere. I'm not sure, if I'm truthful. So, yeah, I'm not sure whether it will appeal to the masses or not, or even whether it will be shown anywhere other than the UK. I don't know. But anyway, that's the film that we're going to go and see this week. So we tend to go on a Wednesday. So, yeah, we're going to try and go on Wednesday. I was talking to a friend of mine at the gym on Friday. And she had taken her daughter during the half term to go and watch Cirque du Soleil, which was showing at the Royal Albert Hall. So I think it just tours around, and I think just comes to London once a year, every year, I think. I might be wrong, but as far as I'm aware, I think it comes to the Royal Albert Hall every year, just for like a brief period. Whether or not that's always January to March, whether it's always 2 months, I don't know, to be honest. Anyway, she was saying how absolutely brilliant that show was. And funny enough, I worked with a lady, you know, where I used to work, and she also had been to see Cirque du Soleil, and she also had said how amazing it was. She'd also been to the one at the Royal Albert Hall. So, yeah, I'd really love to see that one year. So I said to my son, you know, shall we try and do that, like, you know, this year for Christmas? Shall we try and do like a family Christmas present and go and watch that like next year, 2025? And he said, oh, yeah, that sounds really good. Whether or not we'll even remember come Christmas, probably not, to be honest. I can barely remember what I did 10 minutes ago. So it's highly unlikely that I'm going to remember to actually, you know, say, oh, should we go and watch that? But yeah, would quite like to. I did say to him we should really write that down somewhere, you know, put it in our notes or something with like a little reminder to remind us on the calendar, like nearer Christmas. Oh, this is what we said we might do for Christmas. But anyway, we probably won't. But yeah, you know, share in the chat below. Have you been to see Cirque du Soleil? You know, if you have, oh my goodness, was it amazing? We watched a bit of it on YouTube. It looked amazing. Yeah, I mean, I know I've said before about kind of, you know, when I've been to like the circus, you know, that comes kind of like the travelling circus that I've sometimes been to, you know, where we live. I mean, they are so absolutely incredible. How those people actually get to the point of, you know, the level of standards that they get to with the things that they can do is just astounding, to be honest, because, you know, and I'm sure I'm repeating myself because I'm sure I've said this before, but how these people ever get to the point of, you know, even trying out these things is beyond me, because they're so wild and such crazy stuff that they're doing. It's like, well, how on earth would you ever get to the point where you think, oh, do you know, I'm going to give that a go. Maybe I'll be okay at that. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, they're proper proper talented, aren't they? Just wow. Talented and super, super, super brave. It's got to be said. Yeah, very, very brave people. Okay. Yeah, and I think my daughter would enjoy that too. I mean, I know that I've said before, she doesn't generally enjoy things like the cinema and things, but she has enjoyed the cinema whenever we've been. So, yeah, I think she'd also really enjoy going to see that. So, yeah. There we go. Oh, it's just beginning to get cold again. See, the heating has gone off, and yep, the cold's now setting in. Getting chilly in the house again, but it does look really bright and nice outside. So yeah, if I get time, I might take Bo out for a little walk. Okay. There we go. Right, okay, so we've done a few of these. Now, I have not done the inserts. So rather than do those on camera here for the mass making, I will probably do the inserts at a later time. The other thing is, if you have used double-sided papers, as we have here, you know, you don't even have to glue these in as pockets. You could have these as movable pieces, in which case you could have, you know, if you were going to put, say, the coffee dyed paper in here, you could have 1, 2, and then the third piece here. So, and then just paper clip this into your journal. So it would be then a moving piece. Lots of different options really for these, but they're just such nice pockets, aren't they? So let's decorate one of these up. I'm going to decorate the Easter one because I'm hoping to make a little Easter kit, you know, over the next few days. So this will then go in with the Easter kit. So I had printed off somewhere a couple of pages of the Easter kit on thicker paper. So I'm going to use just a little element from this, I think, to decorate the pocket. So let's have a look and see what is a nice little image here. I mean, I'm kind of thinking maybe just use this one. It will just mimic the paper underneath. So we'll just tear that around. I'm not really fussy tearing. I'm just, you know, tearing it randomly like that. So it looks super cute, doesn't it? Might ink it up to just make it stand out a little bit more, because otherwise it's, you know, maybe a little bit blendy into the background. Like that, okay. Now, do we want to take off that? Oh, or we could have it straight on the bottom, actually. I mean, I don't normally do that, but how cute does that look? I was going to tear it round the bottom and have it up here, but actually, how cute does that look down there? It looks gorgeous, doesn't it? So, yeah, let's do that. Now, just reaching around, seeing what stuff I've got laying around on the desk. So, I'm just going to ink this up. Right, so let's ink up the whole pocket. It's still quite soggy because obviously I'd used, you know, quite a lot of glue to glue those bits of paper together. So, but that's fine, you know, it's not affecting it being a bit soggy. It's all still fine. So just quickly ink it a bit in the inside as well, like that, okay. And then just here, like that. Oops. Like that. Okay, right, then, oops, turn it over. Just going to ink around here a bit. Like that. Oh my goodness, how cute does that look? I don't know yet whether I want to ink across here. If I do, what I would do is kind of put my card under there, so as I just get the ink on here rather than, you know, on the underneath paper as well. But like I say, I mean, I'm not sure whether that's even necessary, to be honest. So I've also got some labels and things. So let me just have a quick look. Oh, it's all here beside my desk. Okay. I've got loads of really ginormous labels. Oh, here we go. Got some smaller ones. Some labels, and then I've got some butterflies from my cute little butterfly set. This is from my light butterfly set that's quite new in my shop. So we'll just take this one. Isn't this a gorgeous colour green? Absolutely love this type of colour green, don't you? So pretty. There we go. Oh, and I want to say a massive thank you to anybody who donated to Minnie's Broken Heart. That was the little fundraising effort that I mentioned last week in my video. I did the flip through of the journal that I obviously donated the proceeds from the sale to the Minnie's Broken Heart fundraiser. And I know that the lovely Michelle, she also shared it on our Facebook group. So, you know, obviously I don't know whether people did donate or didn't donate, but if you did, then thank you so much. You know, and thank you so much to the lovely Kimberly who bought the journal. That's really super and really kind of you. Thank you very much. You know, like I say, I mean, it's not, you know, it's not my fundraiser or anything, but it just, you know, really kind of obviously, you know, touched me when I kind of obviously saw the posts about it and things, and I just couldn't sort of ignore it and not respond to it. So, you know, I hope nobody minds me just, yeah, just highlighting it really, because like I said, I just, you know, when you see something and you want to do something, don't you? And, you know, I didn't really know what else I could do. So I thought that I would, you know, just try and sort of share it really where I could. So yeah, thank you so much to anybody who did donate, you know, but yeah. So yeah, I think the last time I looked, I think they were up to 83,000, I think, or might be wrong. So sorry, I've got a memory like a sieve, and I haven't looked since the day obviously that I, you know, uploaded my proceeds from the journal. So yeah, I don't know now what it's up to, but I mean, I'd said last week there's lots of people doing lots of charity kind of events for it. So I mean, let's really pray, you know, hope and pray that they do get to the target. You know, I feel confident that they will, but yeah, let's hope that they do. So okay, because I mean, you just can't really imagine, can you, what, you know, what an awful desperate situation that is. So yeah, absolutely heartbreaking. Now, whilst I mentioned the lovely Michelle who runs our Facebook group, I just want to say a massive thank you to Michelle. I mean, she really is so lovely. I mean, our whole community is so lovely. I've never met such kind-hearted and generous and, you know, giving, you know, lovely ladies, to be honest. So she obviously, you know, she runs our Facebook group. So as if that's not enough, I mean, she's so generous, and, you know, she is such a kind-hearted, lovely lady. And she sent me the most lovely, I was going to say bunch, but they're not a bunch. And I know I've talked about this before. She sent me some tulips, which of course they're very spring flower, aren't they? So yeah, she sent me some tulips. Now, I've talked about this before, but yeah, she uses this company called Wild and Bloom, and they send their flowers what they call sleeping. So they arrive to you sleeping, which means they're not organised in a bouquet or anything. They're like laying flat. They look stunning when they arrive. They are so stunning. And they're asleep. And by that, I mean that they're all closed up. So those tulips, they were all, you know, closed. And then within just very short amount of time of you planting them, they open right out and, you know, spring out into life. And I mean, you know, yeah, not like a couple of days, but, you know, within half an hour they already are coming to life. So yeah, thank you so much, Michelle. And she just wrote the most lovely sentiments in her card. I mean, she always does, actually. And yeah, thank you so much. I mean, honestly, I feel so humbled, and just, you know, it's so kind of you. I really feel touched, and yeah, thank you so much. It really means a huge amount. So yeah, thank you. And I mean, let's face it, you know, flowers are lovely, aren't they, to have? And they're not the type of thing that I would ever kind of buy for myself. So, you know, to have some lovely flowers in the house is just awesome. So thank you very much. Right, Okay, now I'm wondering, do I want to have the pearly trim or shall I have some Diamante bling? Let's pop this down. Loving this with that straight edge. Isn't that so strange? I mean, I never ever would use a straight edge normally, but the straight edge, you know, straight on the edge, straight edge, straight on the edge, it just works on this piece, doesn't it? It looks lovely. Really, really love it. It's very, very cute, I have to say. Now, I'm actually thinking we could maybe even have a couple of butterflies. So, yeah, I might have to do another one. Now, where's my bling? Where is my bling? Oh, now I'm going to struggle to find the bling. Oh. Ah, right, got some here. Some floating around. So, right, do we like the black bling or do we like the pearly trim? I mean, the pearly trim is lovely. I think the black bling is rather nice because it's adding a bit of colour. If you see what I mean, it's very pastel-y shades, and this is just adding a bit of colour. So yeah, I think we'll go with the black. Well, we have gone with the black. Now I'm just wondering whether we could just get away with another butterfly, to be honest, because they are so cute, aren't they? Unfortunately, these also went off the page as I was printing, so let's just see if I can. So these I printed 2 to a page, so they're slightly smaller than, you know, as they come, but aren't they gorgeous? Okay. Okay. Yeah, funnily enough, I mean, Friday, I didn't realise this. I'm just going to try and sort of do something with this side to make it match the other side where it had gone off the page and see whether I can use it. I hate not being able to use things. Oh my goodness, look. Oh, no, I have just made him look really deformed. Oh dear. No, I'm not going to use him now. Right, I wonder if I could use this one. This one. Oh, let's just use this one. Yeah, funnily enough, I didn't know this until when I watched the weather, but Friday was apparently, they said, the first day of spring over here in the UK. And yeah, first day of spring. And would you believe my son was driving home from work? And actually, it was as he drove through Arundel, which is the little town that I mentioned that film was filmed in. So as he was driving through Arundel, the town of Arundel, he said to me, "Mum, would you believe it was actually snowing?" So, yeah, that's how cold it was on Friday, actually snowing. And yet yesterday, such glorious sunshine. I mean, it started out, it was freezing. There was a frost and all that. But it got so warm that in the afternoon, when I went up to the viewpoint, you know, with the doggy ice cream, I mean, when I got out to walk around with Bo, just got out with my jumper and my cardigan on. Didn't even have a coat. So, yeah, couldn't have been more different, to be honest. Oh, no. Oh, I am now torn. I'm not sure where I want to have that butterfly. Loving it in both the places. I think I'm going to have it down here only because when we actually put something in that pocket, it may well just be, you know, completely hidden from view, if you see what I mean. So I think going down there is better. Now for this one, I thought actually we might be able to put some sari silk round as a little tie-up closure. So let me just see. Oh, I don't think this is going to be quite long enough. Isn't that annoying? It's okay if we just have it in a knot rather than a bow, I suppose. So yeah, we could just do that. I've probably got some more pink somewhere else. So what I'll do, I'll just leave that to kind of just give you the idea. But yeah, when I kind of finish it off, I shall dig out some, you know, some sari silk that I've got a longer length, and I'll actually do one with a bow. But aren't they just gorgeous? So yeah, absolutely love it. I love those Easter papers. Aren't they so pretty? Really, really look lovely, don't they? So how many did we get done? We have done 1. What did I do with the others? All got buried under my stuff here. Hang on. Right, we did 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, £9, which is pretty good, I think, because they're, you know, they are quite a sophisticated looking pocket, like I said. So yeah, I hope that you like them, and yeah, I hope you have fun if you decide to make some. Thank you so much for watching. I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a massive thumbs up, and yep, I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks very much then. Bye.